Yep.
Thank you. You'll have to tell me how you did that.
I'm screenshotting it right now.
You're awesome.
All right, I think we're good. So we have Janelle, Shelley, Jody, Lee, Cassie, and I know a couple others were jumping on.
I'm sure they're getting situated. We can start whenever you want me to start. I'm good. I have some time, so I'm ready.
Okay, all right.
We can give them a few.
And I see that we had one question for upcoming.
Okay.
But they might have questions as we go too.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to give me the one, or do you want to wait and just ask me?
The one was Jody asked, what has been your biggest challenge since starting Beachbody and how did you overcome it?
Okay.
Good one.
Hey, Mama.
That one's easy, and I can share that. But I'll first talk about who I am and how I got started and what this is.
Yeah, I think I'll wait till 7:05, which is like another minute or two. Oh, who's on the telephone? Say hello.
It's Jonelle. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, you're on the phone. Yep, I can hear you. And then you can also,
Okay.
I think there's a way to mute yourself when you're on the phone too, so that you can let Kane go crazy if he wants to be. And then you can just unmute yourself if you have a question.
And if you can't figure it out, I can mute you. I just don't know if you can unmute once I mute you. She can mute on her phone.
I have one person struggling with how to get on. Janelle, did you just call the number?
Yeah, well, I tried doing it to do the video, and then it went to the number. So
you have the app? Did you have the app downloaded?
I do have the app downloaded, yeah, but then it gave me an option to just dial in. So
because when you plug in via the app, you want to also press use internet radio or audio so that we can hear you talk too.
Okay, I might try to hang up and do that real quick, okay?
Yep.
Yes. Someone was on but went off. I saw briefly someone came on and now they're gone.
Okay.
I didn't catch the name.
I'm going to see. I have a couple people, or Jen on here is saying that she can't figure out how to join.
Kylie just got on. Jen's on. Jen's on. I can see Jen. I see Kylie.
Which Jen do you see?
Jen wearing a pink tank top. Jen, what's your last name?
Quick.
Oh, you got it to figure out, Jen. Sorry.
I did.
Good deal.
I'm on the computer. I have everybody. I can see everybody.
I wish I was at home on a computer.
I know. The phone's hard. It's okay. Okay.
All right. And so now we have Kylie, Shelley, Jody, Jen, and Janelle's going to try and jump back on via video.
She's on.
Oh, there's Janelle.
Hi, Janelle.
Hi.
Hi, Kylie, Jen, Shelley, Jody.
Okay, I think we can.
Okay, do you guys want
we're waiting on Kim is all.
Oh, what's that?
We're just waiting on Kim.
Okay, and go ahead and mute yourselves, guys. You can unmute when you have a question, but that way if there's background noise, you won't distract anyone else. And raise your hand if you can't mute yourself. I can mute you.
Let me see, how many minutes are we into the recording so we can tell people to fast forward through all of that when they rewatch it?
I can't tell right now.
Okay, that's all right.
But it is 5 minutes after, so probably have them go to 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay.
We ready to go?
Yeah, I think so. So hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. And I'm going to hand it over to Lee. Lee has been my upline diamond coach since I started. She's the leader of Team Believe and Empower, if you're in that group. So we're a small spin-off of that group because we started to get so big that with the F-Word Fitness group that we wanted to just keep things kind of quiet and more personable, but we can also go into Lee's big team where there's other diamond coaches and their coaches in there if we have other questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Beth.
But other than that, I've known Lee for 4 years this last month, and she's been a Beachbody coach since basically they started almost for 10 years. So
awesome. Thank you. What a great introduction. Let me turn my phone on mute. Sorry, my son is coming back from international travel and is texting me from New York. like Cassie said, our team consists of, my personally sponsored coaches and then their coaches. So when teams grow, people like to make a subset group. And that's what Cassie was talking about. She's kind of set you guys up in her team page, which is just a subset of our group. The greatest thing about our company is that we're all on a mission to help people. And your particular style might be slightly different, but what we do doesn't change no matter really who we are. So I'm going to back up a little bit and just tell you a little bit about who I am and how I got started with Beachbody. My name is Lee, like Cassie told you. I am a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a sister, a daughter, obviously. I'm 48 years old. I have 4 kids. They are almost 17 and almost 14, 11 and almost 8. So I have 2 boys first and 2 girls. I started this business actually when I only had 3 kids and when my littlest at the time, so my third born was 9 months old, and so she's 11 and a half. So that was about 10 and a half years ago. And I'll get into how I became a coach later, but I want to tell you about how I became a Beachbody customer. And what part of that story I want you to really take particular note of is that there was no business at the time, and my friend that told me about Beachbody was really just sharing a product that worked for her. And so the point of that is, I just think about all the time, she hadn't shared what she was doing, working out at home and having, a transformation. I would never have been interested in getting started with that same thing myself. She just inspired me. And when she told me about it, I was 9 and a half months pregnant. So I wasn't looking for anything to solution on anything. Like I was just reading her. So to back up to the beginning, I started as a Beachbody customer, like many of you, using a product called Power 90. And it was because my girlfriend, who I had met at a park across the street from my house, Monica, you might have heard her name, Monica Ward, she had just shared her transformation with me in a casual conversation about how she knew another guy at the park. She had to tell me that they had met through Beachbody and she was using these products, but she told me her story, right? And her story inspired me about 4 months after I had my baby. And what I knew I had always done, this is my third child, I wanted to have more energy. I wanted to feel better. I was, borderline, let's say, depressed and overweight and tired all the time. And I wanted to sleep when the baby slept. And I kind of knew that those things weren't the right behaviors. But I really didn't know what else to do. So I had tried what I knew, and what I knew wasn't working. So I came to her and I said, listen, that thing you were telling me about that you did, well, how long ago was it? 2 years or 4 years. I think it was 4 years before she met me. And she lost weight and kept it up. I'm like, what was it? And she's like, Power 90. And I'm like, I want to do that. Sign me up. I mean, she wasn't selling it. She just took me to beachbody.com and helped me order it. And the best thing about it was she supported me. She helped me, encouraged me. She watched the baby for me sometimes so I could work out. She invited me to come to her house so I could work out. So basically, she was on this journey with me, even though she didn't need to lose any weight. She just, she was staying healthy and using the product still. And one day she introduced me to P90X, just one of her, I think it was first, what after Power 90 was Power half hour. So it was a little bit harder. And then it was P90X. And so she just kind of was just sharing her life with me. So now we do it a lot virtually. Sometimes we do it in person, but it was just real. And I achieved results with these products. So I wound up losing in my first 4 months using the products. I lost 21 pounds. And so by that time, my baby was 9 months old. And I think it was February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, she was 9 months old. And I was smaller than I was when I got pregnant with her. So I had a lot of people just saying, what are you doing? You look fantastic. So this is the part where being a product of the product, back this up, make sure you guys understand, I'm not a coach, okay? I'm a product user. I'm happy with my results. I got results. I'm still friends with Monica. She's doing the workouts too, and she's watching people come up to me because she had moved to my town from another town, and everyone knew her in her small body, and no one knew that she'd had any transformation, and she's just watching how people are amazed that I've had this transformation because they've known me for years and years. And now all of a sudden I have this little baby and I'm small. And they're like, that doesn't go that way. What's going on? So I just started telling people listen, I'm doing Power 90. Go on to beachbody.com and you can buy it. It's $45 or it was $60. It's $60. It's an amazing program. It's 30 minutes a day. It's cardio and weights. And I don't know, it worked for me. I started eating better. It comes with a meal plan, Nishi's ladder, right? This is what I'm telling people. And he must have sold 12 of them. Well, Monica came to me a couple months later and said, listen, the CEO of Beachbody is asking me to come to California and wants to talk to me about what he's doing with the business. And he asked me to come because I had results, and I kept my weight off, and I'm active in the community that he has set up. He set up like in a message board online. And so she went to California, and that's when the coaching opportunity was presented to her. And she became a Team Beachbody coach. It was in December of 2006. I think it was right before Christmas. And took me a day and a half to say yes. Of course I said yes, but then I had to go online and complete that, right? Like everyone, like you have to actually follow through. So I hesitated for a minute, not because I didn't want to do it, just because I'm, like everybody, busy or didn't do it right away. So one of her friends that was in another business, an Arbonne business, came on before me and became Monica's first coach, and I became one of her second coaches. And I'm telling you this because it's not about longevity necessarily, it's about effort, right? Like anyone can do anything in this business, because Angela, Monica's friend, came in, did a lot with the business, but she's still not doing what she was doing then. And I think there's a couple of things that are key. I'm going to talk about success that I've had, but part of what drives success is, and I have all these things, I think a lot of you do too: passion for the products, consistency with using them and sharing about them, persistency, and then just sticking with what you do, because it's easy to get frustrated and stop. So those things combined, the passion, the willingness to share, the consistency that you do that, and the persistency with how often you do it, and that includes follow-ups and whatnot, is really what creates success in this business. They say be here a year from now. That's so true, because if you stop along the way or get distracted, you can restart. But if you just give up, it's really taking away from what you could do, because anyone can do this business. It's not that it's, I would say, super hard. It's that we get distracted and frustrated and we stop doing the basics and keep at those things. Those are the things. When you go to Summit and see people on stage, they're really no different than you or I. They just do what you do, a lot of it, and they don't stop. And maybe they work longer hours and more of it because they have a stronger pull in their heart. So what happened when Monica asked me to do the business and I said yes? So I became a Beachbody coach. I had 3 kids at the time. Lucy was 10 months or 11 months old. It was my 3rd child. And so I was 37, I guess, or 38. And I had, I think I was 38, had 3 kids. They're all little, 5 and under. And I didn't know what I had in front of me. I didn't know that this business could do what it's done, but I knew that I loved the products, that I met the executive team over the course of a few years, and I was blown away by their passion and their, I don't know what you call it, the way that they built this company and how they believe in it and everything that they do, like knowing Carl and how he is, that opened my eyes to, wow, we're really in a good place. And then, I went on to have another kid. I went on to do amazing things. And part of it was I watched Monica and I said, if she can do it, I can do it too. Like, how is she any different than me, right? She used the product. She had a transformation. She helped people. Like, I could do all those things. She meets people. She shares with them. She follows up with them. Like, maybe I didn't know exactly what to say, but I watched her and I learned from her, like you guys are learning from Cassie, from me, from the rest of our team. And I just kept failing forward, right? Like, I tell you 100 conversations that I've had with people who would have been perfect coaches, but I think I took a fire hose of information and just threw up on them and they ran away. And, I kind of lost out because I was a little too excited, but I didn't know better. So that's my failing forward piece of, you got to learn, you got to do, you got to try. If I sat back and I planned forever, I never would have opened my mouth and they still would have never joined me. So failing forward is the way to go. So the turning point for me in my business was when I was pregnant with my 4th child. I watched a lot of the leaders that I knew because I'd been in the company for, how long have I been? About 3 years now. And I watched them have the success that I was wanting. right? Like you see other people who hit Success Club. We didn't have Success Club at the time, but who are, I don't remember how they did leaderboards, but they were on the leaderboards. And I would often see my name come up on these leaderboards in my region, because we were by region at the time. And I kept saying, oh, but I'm so tired and I'm pregnant and I can't work any harder. And so hasn't hit the top yet. She's in my region. And I was like making excuses, okay? What I realized is that I was telling myself it's okay to not be where you want to be, because you're already giving it your all and you really don't have anything more in you. So it's okay. So that's where I ended up that year. Like I didn't hit top coach. I watched myself kind of approach the top and then just said, okay, well, too bad because you can't do it. So don't try. They didn't try and I didn't do it. And then they went on a trip and I thought to myself, I should be on that trip. I should have worked harder. I don't know if I really could have, but I didn't try. And I got kind of mad at myself for not trying. Because I don't know if you know Cassie, but I think she's kind of a little bit like me, or I'm a little bit like her. Like, I'm going to do it all, and I can do it all. I mean, I might get burned out or crazy and overcommitted and all that and overwhelmed and whatever, but I'm not going to say no to a challenge. I'm going to win. I'm out to do it right. And that's been me my whole life. So I was a little bit mad at myself. And then the next year came around, and so I had said to myself, I was pregnant with that baby, and Beachbody announced a trip. It was going to be a leadership conference. I don't remember what they called it at the time. Now it's the Beachbody Leadership Conference, but at the time, I don't remember. It was some kind of retreat. And I said, I'm going to do everything in my power to get to that conference. So if this baby is out, I'm there no matter what. Well, the conference was planned for I don't remember, right when she was due. I can't even remember how it synced up, but I was like, unless she comes early, I can't go. Well, it wound up that they had to change the conference by 1 week. They pushed it back because Tony Horton had some other commitment, and they wound up giving us one more week, which for me, I was like, oh my God, yay. And my babies were traditionally early, and she came early. So she came almost 3 weeks early. So it wound up that I had the ability to go. I had a 3-week-old baby who was going to be breastfeeding, and she was my fourth child, and I couldn't really leave her with anyone. So I had to figure out a way to make it work, because I said to myself, if there's a way, I'm not going to let this opportunity go by without going to this thing. So, I don't know if you can hear all the details, but I wound up going to this event. I found a friend to drive me because it was only 6 hours away. It took us 9 hours to get there because of the baby and the traffic and everything, but we made it. We wound up missing a ton of stuff on the first night. But again, you do what you need to do, and you get to where you need to be. It was where I needed to be. I don't know how much information sunk in. I was in a huge baby fog. I had a 3-week-old baby. I had anxiety about leaving the house and being alone with this baby. I never had anxiety. That was the first time I realized, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I was anxious. And so I just knew that if I showed up and did what I needed to do, that's where I needed to be. So I did that. And then a few months later, so that was in the fall, October she was born in 09. So that's how we mark how many leadership conferences Beachbody's had. I always hear Sandy Guiadonna and Tracy Morrow go, how old was that baby of Lee's? Because that's how they're that's how many years we've had these conferences. So just a funny little thing. But at Summit the following year, which is in March, I was sitting in the audience, and Carl Deichler and some of the executive team rode out on these bikes on stage. And they presented what was going to be a chairman's trip, a top coach trip. They didn't call it top coach at the time. And I was sitting in front of Monica and Dave Ward, who Monica's my sponsor, and Dave's her now ex-husband, but they are business partners. And I heard them say, we're going to be on that trip. And I was like, I'm going to be on that trip too, right? I see Monica do things. I think I could do them. I know I can do what she can do. She said she's going on the trip. I'm like, I'm on that trip too. Absolutely. At the time, they had leaderboards, just like they did the year before, and I had seen my name kind of creeping on them. And on that leaderboard, I was still I don't know, somewhere on it, but not in the top, but in the top 25 or something, maybe 50, I don't know. And I just said, okay, I'm in, I'm all in. What do I have to do? So I just did what I had to do, right? I had talked to a ton of people, I had to engage and enroll a ton of people. I had to share my little heart out and find more and more people to try Shakeology, to use our workouts, to have transformations, to join as a coach, to do what I was doing. And lo and behold, I finished that year in the company at number 5. So I was one of the top 10 coaches. We went on this trip with Carl, which was the first trip of the sort. It was amazing. It definitely was not easy, but it was something that anyone could do, right? It was a matter of just doing more than anyone else, what I realized. So I had to do what we do, a lot of it. I had to sacrifice a lot of my time, I had to, like say, okay, once the kids went to bed or once dinner was over, I'd go on my computer because I had to make more contacts and connect with more people. And yes, I'm good at meeting people in person, but even then, once I've met them and they're at home, I got to connect with them. So I spent a lot of time listening and talking to people and getting better at listening and not always talking, because that's one of my personality traits. Is listening is something I've had to work on and get better at. So the moral of my story on that is what changed in between the first year where I didn't make the top coach and the second year where I did was my belief in myself. Why not me is what I said when I heard Dave and Monica say, I'm going on that trip. And I was like, why not me? I'm going on. And when I spoke it out loud, I know we've talked about that, like speaking your goals and making them happen, then that was my goal. Like, I'm going to be on that trip. I need to prove it to myself, to prove it to everyone around me. I mean, I'm a firstborn child, and I feel like, that's part of who I am, and it's ingrained in my personality for some reason. Not, it's about what I wanted, but then why do you want what you want? Some of it might be recognition, approval, whatever it is. I had to do that for myself, but also, just to show like I can do this. So the main thing that changed was the belief that I could do it. Because the year that I believed I couldn't do it, I didn't do it. I didn't even try because I talked myself out of it. So I think, I don't remember, was it Joey or Janelle? Maybe Jen. Someone asked the question of what my biggest challenge was since I become a coach, right? Who asked that? My biggest challenge, I would say, was myself, getting out of my own way. And how did I do that, right? Because that's a big thing. Like we're in our own way. I don't know if everyone will believe it. Maybe it takes a while to realize like you're the only one stopping you from being the greatest thing on this earth, okay? Because you were born to be the greatest thing on this earth. When you came out and you were there, whether your parents told you or not, like I'm sure somebody believed in you. We don't always believe in ourselves. But so for me, part of that was realizing that I'm just as good as everybody else. So I guess part of it was personal development that I was doing that helped me believe in myself. Confidence that I built by using our programs and our products. I know that helped with my belief. Part of it was the small successes that I'd have proved to me the bigger successes. So sometimes when you have a really, really big goal, you're not going to realize the big goal overnight, but knowing that you've achieved the small little goals along the way gave me more confidence too. So what Beachbody did at the time they started the Top Coach, they also created Success Club. And okay, I'll get to that question in a second. They created the Success Club, which was really helping 3 people a month. And in the beginning, that was the hardest thing in the world for me to grasp my hands out of. Now, you saw if you're at Summit or if you saw maybe in our team page, I was recognized at Summit. I was there for having 90 months consecutive, and actually this month makes 91 in Success Club. And that's in Success Club 5. I think I have like 87, almost 88 in Success Club 10, which is even harder, right? Because you can't just help 3 people, you got to help at least 5. So when Beachbody set that small little goal for me, I was like, okay, well, that's the little goal that's going to get me to the big goal because I can be consistent. And I know the bare minimum I have to do is to help 3 new people. And I didn't necessarily know or believe in that in the beginning, but the leadership team of Beachbody was helping me understand. And I remember my first month calling someone at corporate, a mentor, and saying, listen, I'm almost there. I've got 4 points. My person that I'm waiting on said yes, but I don't know what else to do. I followed up. I've done everything I can. She said yes, and she hasn't done it. It's like maybe 1 day left in the month, maybe 2. And the guy I'm talking to on the phone says, listen, you might not like what I'm going to say. I'm like, what do I do? He's like, you have a list? I was like, well, yeah, I've got this list. And he's like, you need to move to the next person on your list. I was like, well, she said yes. And he's like, she's not ready. So I had to do that. I didn't like that message at all, but that was the thing. Like if I waited on people, like even though they say they're ready, sometimes people need reminders, and I get that, and I send out those, like people are busy just like I am. And when my friend, I want to buy something and she sends me the link, it makes it a lot easier. So don't ever feel like sending your link out to a person who said yes is the wrong thing to do. They forget them. You might have already even sent them the link, but your link is like 30,000 miles back in their texts or their emails, and they're not going to remember. So I have someone this month who said she wanted to get started. She was on vacation until yesterday. So tomorrow I'm going to follow my same strategy. Now I can't count on her to be the last person that I want to help this month, right? Because people do what they're going to do, and it shouldn't be about me, even though I try to make it about me sometimes. I've realized that making it about me makes me feel really icky. So you got to try and figure out a way to make it about them. And I've learned that along the way too. So I'll be following back up with how was your vacation? Are you still planning on joining us? Do you need the link? And, here's just for when you're ready, here it is. And, we're in this group already. We're getting prepped. We're getting started. I want you to join us. Kind of think about her. Because you told me that this is what you wanted, not because I need the point, right? Okay. I skipped over something I'm going to talk about in a minute. Let me ask. This question was, how do you reach out more than just friends and people you knew? Okay, so make sure that I'm getting the question right. But just the people that I knew when I started the business, if I only kept those, let's say I had 200 Facebook friends, maybe I had 400. If I only reached out to those people and followed up with those people every month for the last 10 years, I'd have no success. Absolutely. So is the question more about like, how did you meet more people along the way? We have 10 minutes left, by the way. Was it, how did I meet more people? Go ahead and unmute. I think it was Jen. Did you ask that?
Yes, right now all I have is my people on Facebook, and I don't know how to reach out to, even more people.
Okay, so what I suggest to people all the time is to always be meeting new people, not necessarily prospects for your business, but just connect with more people. The more people that you can bring into your world, the better. So if Facebook is the way you're going to stay connected, like for me, I like to create conversations and like the pictures and kind of make people feel good. And so I'll do that way, way, way in advance before I actually ask the person to join my team or to join a challenge. And sometimes they're asking me because I put something out there. So we've created this relationship and this connectivity. And then they're watching, like if I post pictures of my shakes or my workouts or my family or my trip, and they're like, oh gosh, she lives a pretty good life and she does this, it's her job. And so there's a lot of questions, but I think you have to create that environment and then start just bringing people into your world. If you have kids or if you have hobbies or if you have a side business or a full-time business, you just bring people in. And then you just say, how are you? What are you doing? How's your life? What's going on? Oh, I saw you broke your toe. How are you doing? Oh, you doing a gym? Great. What do you do? Just connections. And once you get to a certain point, then you might have to make an invite, but you have to, it's when it's right. And some people it might take 2 days and some people it might take 4 years. I have people that prospecting right now that I've known on my Facebook and in real life for 4 years. So I just say constantly bring people in, people you meet on the airplane, people from your kids' schools, people from your work. My husband refers me a person every now and then from his work. So like, isn't your wife do something with Beachbody? I hand out cards when I'm talking to people if it makes sense, if they ask me a question. So I'd say everyone should have 5 to 7 different ways to market yourself. Wear, and share. So people ask you about have you done that? Insanity. Put a bumper sticker on your car. Just random things. Post about it on Facebook. Just, get referrals from friends. That's 4 right there. Like you just got to figure out, maybe your Instagram's another one. Like just ways that you're going to attract people. And I always say that people should have like 5 to 7 different ways. Over time, maybe you don't start with that, but just build on that so that there's always ways you're coming in. Maybe you run a fit club, free workout, a fitness ministry at your church, something just to connect to even more people. Give away goodness, run a free group, give away knowledge, give away support, give away praise, give away recognition, and that will attract other people to you. I wanted to add why I became a coach in the first place. When Monica asked me, it was because I wanted to pay it forward. I had the biggest feeling in my heart that if everyone could do what I was doing and feel as good as I was doing, that would be the best thing in the world. So what I did was I just wanted to help people. And, over the course of time, I realized that by helping people, I was going to change my own life because there was a commission and a team commission involved, some type of bonuses. And my check grew as the more people I helped thousands of people. I walk by people in my community and I'm like, sometimes they hide from me because I sold them a product and they didn't use it and they get hey, I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not perfect, Patty, over here. Like, see my ice cream cone? I get it. But it's really just about just giving. And so I just want to help other people. And so then as I realized that this income could change my life from a financial standpoint, I was like, whoa, okay, I'm all in. And I watched Monica hit the Million Club, and I'm like, I can do this too. And I was able to do that. And so then it's like all about, well, what are your goals? Because your goals constantly change. So helping more people do what I've done, helping each one of you is now why I come to work every day. So that fills my bucket, knowing that you have a question, Jen, about how I meet people, and then getting and helping you figure out, well, where are the people that you know, where are you going to find them? And how are you going to connect with them? If you get stuck and you use Cassie or myself or another person on a team to share, like, I'm struggling because this person said yes and now I don't know how to help them, or, you know, I know this would be perfect for this person, but how do I present it without saying you're fat? I have a solution. You know, like, that's not what we do. It's just about doing it in the right manners. And I've learned that over time. Look real quick at my notes, and let me, Cassie, why don't you jump in if there's anything else you want me to say?
I'll mute myself.
Yeah.
What do you do to stay consistent? What, like, if something had to fall off, what are the things that will not fall off each month or week or day?
Well, for me, Success Club is a non-negotiable. So what that means is every month I'm going to be helping 3 to 5 new people. So when I've noticed that I haven't met as many new people or brought as many people into my life, and that's happened, you know, it doesn't happen overnight that I realize the effect of that. But that's one thing that I think you should never slow down on. When I have slowed down on that, it's been harder to help more people because, like Jen said, I only have these friends and family now. What do I do? Because I don't have more people. So that's one thing that I'd say, like, if you can get into the Beachbody Customer Leads program and get more people to connect with, they might not connect with you right away, but that's been one really good way that I always have some new people to connect to. Referrals and just meeting people and making sure to add them to my Facebook. For me, that's really been a key thing, is just constantly, for a while I stopped meeting new people. I thought I could work online all the time, like some of the other leaders, top leaders in the company, and it wasn't me. It didn't fill my bucket. I felt shriveled up inside. So you have to make sure not to get rid of the habits and the things that fill you up. Like, people fill me up, so I want to be around people. I've learned that I'm okay being by myself, but I need to find ways to also connect with people. So whether it's a fit club or a social event, not saying, oh, I need to be working and really isolating my time. But the one thing I'd say is the biggest is always be meeting new people, and just don't go into that relationship knowing that they're going to be a customer, because they might never be a customer, but know that there's a reason why you met them and that you need to stay connected with them, to check in with them and be their friend first, or, you know, whatever it is that you can be to them, their mentor, whatever. And then for me, having the minimum success for myself of the standard, I guess, of excellence is the Success Club. So 3 people or 5 people if I raise it up. But that to me has kept me, okay, you haven't done enough invites. You're not going to hit it this month. You better get to work. So if I were more consistent with it throughout the month, I've noticed when I do that, my funnel, let's say if I'm sending out all these invites, there's always some coming in. They come to me because I sent one out last month and I either forgot to follow up, or she said no, but she came back to me like 3 months later. So if you're always doing those things, and I guess they're the vital behaviors, right? Meeting people, you're connecting with people, you're inviting people, you're helping people, you're running groups. So if I stop doing the basic things, there's no one to help. So I guess the basic things are always be adding people, connecting with people, and inviting people. And then you'll always, right. Go ahead.
Connecting is just building a relationship. Hi, how are you? How are your kids? How's work going? Oh, I see you went on a trip recently. Loved your pictures. They'll ask you questions back. You don't have to send an invite that day. You know, maybe a month, 2, 3 months later, it's before they come around. The turnaround is, you know, not immediate, but just connecting. And you'll find that when you connect with people, it makes you feel good too. So you don't have to be salesy. You're connecting with them. You feel good because you made a friend and you can relate to someone, and they're asking you about how you're feeling. So that feels good, of course. How are you doing? How's your life? And then eventually they'll say, hey, I'm also following that journey that you're posting about and sharing. I want to be a part of that. So really quick before you leave, Lee, because I hear it all the time. People say, well, I don't want to go like public with coaching until like I'm at my goal weight or how I look. my goal in my mind until I have really good results, like 25 pounds. What's your take on that?
Absolutely the wrong thing to say, wrong thing to feel. We have a minute and a half left, so be on your journey. Be bold about sharing about your journey, because it's very intimidating for somebody to look to somebody who's already achieved their results and say, I want help. But as you're on your journey, they want to be on that journey with you. And they are not intimidated by you. They know you or have met you. And seeing you go through this and maybe share your struggles and your challenges, but watching you be real and not like, there's two reasons why. That's one reason. And the second reason is you're never going to be at your goal. As soon as you hit your goal, you have a new goal. So what are you waiting for? You're going to say, when I lose 10 pounds. Well, then as soon as you lose those 10 pounds, you want to lose 5 more pounds. It's not about that. It's about just knowing that you're doing the right thing. You're on the right journey. And so I'd say, don't be afraid to tell people what you're doing. And then people will want to just join you. Yeah. So there's only like 30 seconds left. Join me. Yeah. You're muted, Cass. Oh,
If you have questions because Lee's been so insightful or something she said triggered, she is in our coach group, so you can tag her and ask her a question. Otherwise, it's recorded and you can go back and review it. But she's very knowledgeable and she's so great at meeting people and talking to people that I look to her as an inspiration for that and how to connect.
And it doesn't have to be about this call. If you have a question about something, maybe you've asked Cassie and you just want another opinion, tag me. Guys, I'm here for you. My goal is to have you be the next me. Each and every one of you. I can do this. Cass can do this. You can do this. There's really no difference other than your